greasing process for the A7 Tornado. What we're going to do first, of course, we're going to lift the hopper up so we can get access of all the grease fittings. Once the hopper is completely up, it is safe to make sure to turn off the back engine, take the keys off, and also the keys to the chassis engine as well. That will actually make sure that whoever is doing the maintenance or inspection or whatever the process is, safe to do all that work. The greasing process is a very, very important aspect of the maintenance of a sweeper and any kind of equipment for that matter. The A7 and the A9, the A7 Tornado and the A9 Monsoon, they're both similar units, and of course the greasing process on both those units is the same. Greasing a machine it's so important because it prolongs the life and the well-being of the sweeper. So let's get started and get the steps that they're required to do the greasing process on these machines. As the engine is cut off and both keys from the console and the chassis are taken out, of course we're going to have to install the safety prop. Now we're safe to do the inspection and of course the greasing process. The A7 Tornado, of course, is not a very difficult unit to do the greasing process. We do have several, or actually different greasing functions that we can follow. This unit, of course, is equipped with remote grease fittings, and of course, as you can see, they are labeled and they will let the maintenance personnel or the operator know when and how often it should grease the fittings on the unit. Of course, they are A7 Tornadoes that do not have the remote grease fitting apparatus, so therefore the maintenance personnel is going to have to the grease fittings themselves and grease it individually. One set of grease fittings are for the gutter broom U-joints. This should be done once a month, one shot of grease with the handgun, and of course the grease fitting is located on the inside of the U-joint of the broom arm. It is important to grease the unit with a hand grease gun simply because we do not want to over-grease it. One pump of grease is actually sufficient to do what we need to do. So we just finished greasing the left-hand side broom. Of course, as you can see, there are two fittings, so therefore this one over here will be for the right side broom, and of course this one will have to be greased with one pump with the hand grease gun. The next two grease fittings here are for the hopper hinge. Of course, there's one on the left, one on the right, on the rear of the hopper. The next below, it's actually for the hopper door hinges, and also at the rear of the hopper door, one on the left, one on the right. And we have two grease fittings for the bleeder door, which is the vacuum enhancer, which is at the other side of the fan housing. These are the door hinges right here. This is the right side door hinge. This one, of course, it requires one pump of grease. And this is the left side rear dump door hinge. That one also requires one shot of grease. These are the two grease fittings for the lift bleeder door, one on the left, one on the right, for the lift bleeder door hinge. Another greasing point is actually the fan seal right here. The hopper is coming down and is meeting this seal and seals the fan housing and the hopper. That seal actually needs to be greased manually, just a film with grease to where it actually keeps that seal moist so it does not dry up and lose seal with the hopper. For example, after 2 or 3 washes, all that grease is actually going to wash out. So therefore, it's going to need another film of grease in order to keep that seal moist. The next seal that it needs to be greased is the intake seal. When the hopper is coming down, the intake seal touches the transition tube that is bolted into the frame, and that keeps that sealed with the intake tube that goes into the hopper. That one, of course, after several wash downs, is actually going to wash down the grease, and then, of course, eventually it's going to get dried up. It needs to be greased as needed with just a new film of grease. This is the rear door seal. This one also needs to be greased as needed. After, of course, several washes, the grease is actually washing away, so therefore the seal is going to get dry. So a new film of grease as needed, it's required to keep that seal moist. Definitely, anytime that you're under here greasing this seal, it is necessary to install the safety prop so you'll be safe when you are under there. The rear fan bearing is located here, and the front bearing is located here in front of the bearing bracket. It is also a very good idea every so often to make sure that you inspect the tubes that go to the bearings to make sure that they're not cut, pinched, or bent, so the grease is actually going to the bearings. These are the two hopper hinges that they will be need to be greased once a month with 1 ounce grease to each one of them.